everyone, this is Nishat and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, you're watching the review of The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. Now, talking about this book, guys, it is considered as one of the best books ever written by Agatha Christie because of its ending, which is very twisted. इसकी जो एंडिंग है ये रीडर्स को लिटरली शॉक कर देती है और बहुत ही ज़्यादा अनएक्सपेक्टेड है और इसकी एंडिंग की वजह से ही कहीं ना कहीं एक मास्टरपीस है. Now please gear yourself up for more mysteries and let's get into the plot of the story. Talking about the plot of the story, guys, obviously we are going to see that this story is going to be surrounding the murder of Roger Ackroyd, this wealthy man living in King's Abode who is very popular in his hometown, the King's Abode, and he knows a lot of secrets, and all of these secrets are related to his late love named Mrs. Ferrars. Now, Mrs. Ferrars died few days back, and to the people in the town, it seemed that she actually died of an accidental overdosing on sleeping pills named Veronal. But Roger Ackroyd was the one who knew it very well that she actually died intentionally. She killed herself with an overdosing of Veronal because she was under the guilt of killing her husband 1 year back, and also she was being blackmailed by someone who had made her life miserable. Now, after the death of Mrs. Ferrars, Roger Ackroyd is kind of very determined to know the name of the blackmailer. But just before he could actually come to know the name of the perpetrator of crime, he is being murdered. अब रॉजर अक्रॉयड को किसने मारा और उसको मारने के पीछे क्या मोटिव था एंड ऑल, these are the questions you as readers would have to find by reading the story because I don't want to give a spoiler. Now, talking about the plot construction, guys, we see that the story actually starts at a very dramatic note. स्टोरी के स्टार्टिंग में हमें देखने को मिलता है कि मिसेस फेरर्स मर चुकी है, एंड then comes the moment when Roger Ackroyd is being murdered, and it proceeds to the point where a famous character who is very prevalent in Agatha Christie's story is introduced, and that is Hercule Poirot, the very detective who is known for his way of detection, which is kind of very unique and very different from other detectives that we have read, like Sherlock Holmes and in Bengali Feluda. So that's the very moment when the climax builds up and it is at its very depth. So story के starting में obviously it's dramatic, but climax उतना build up नहीं होता और इतना intensity नहीं बढ़ता जैसे कि kind of we get to see at a point of time when the investigation has started. And that's it. As the story proceeds, we get to see a lot of things. We get to see that a number of secrets are getting revealed. We get to see that the characters are showing up their true colors. Also, we find that a number of things are coming up to the surface. A number of things which were hidden from us beforehand. And that's why I find that this part of the story, just after the murder of Roger Ackroyd, it's highly intense in its output. Another interesting fact that I found about this story is that Agatha Christie has given us a lot of clues. At the same time, she has misled us into following clues or rather objects which are unnecessary. So हमें यहाँ पर देखने को मिलता है कि हमें clues भी मिलता है, at the same time हमको mislead भी किया जाता है. उन सब चीज़ों के तरफ हम खींचे जाते हैं जो कि बहुत ज़्यादा अननेसेसरी है और हमारा माइंड ड्रिफ्ट करता है, मेन पॉइंट से ड्रिफ्ट करता है, हम मिस आउट करते हैं ऐसे क्लूज. दैट्स द मेन थिंग इन द स्टोरी, दैट यू आर गिवन क्लूज, एट द सेम टाइम यू आर गिवन मिसलीड्स, बट यू डेलिबरेटली choose the misleads and you don't feel like okay, I have clues, I should accept them. No, you are deliberately, intentionally going and choosing misleads. Most of the readers have actually been fooled by these misleads, even though there are people who have understood the clues at the very instance, and for them the story became very predictable. But most of the readers, they fail to see the clues and They deliberately look at the misleads. I kind of believe that this makes the story very interesting, and it erases any kind of dullness that would have been present. अगर स्टोरी पहले फुर्सत में प्रेडिक्टेबल बन जाती है तो स्टोरी को पढ़ने का क्या मज़ा, राइट? Talking about characters, guys, in the story you are going to see there are lots of characters. Like, there are characters starting from Roger's family, then comes Dr. Shepherd, his sister, then Hercule Poirot, then there are other people living in the town. You're going to see a lot of characters, and all of these characters are very important to the plot, but there are three characters whom I personally love, and I believe that they stand out most while coming to this story. These three characters are very important in the entire plot, even though there are other characters, but these characters are so good to the entire plot. Let me tell you one by one. The first is obviously Dr. Shepherd. Dr. Shepherd is the narrator of the story. Yes, we are reading the whole thing, we are seeing the whole thing from his eyes, and we kind of see that he's very unreliable. डॉक्टर शेफर्ड ऐसे बहुत सारे बातें करता है जो हमें बहुत अनरिलायबल लगते हैं. सिर्फ वही नहीं हो, मतलब डॉक्टर शेफर्ड कुछ ऐसे सीक्रेट्स है, कुछ ऐसे बातें हैं जो रीडर्स से छुपा रहा है. पता नहीं क्यों. Maybe there is something mysterious about it, but he is deliberately choosing not to reveal a lot of secrets to readers. Now, he is this very sophisticated man who is like a reliable source, who is a trustworthy person to the characters, not to the readers. He is a trustworthy person to Roger Ackroyd, and then Ralph Pitton, who is Roger Ackroyd's stepson, and we see that he has a kind of importance, and he is very respectable in the town where he stays. Moving to the next character, it's Carolyn Shepherd. Carolyn Shepherd, I just love this character because she is very different from other characters. In fact, she is one of those strong women characters who have been produced ever. Like, just like any other women character, she is also this very strong women character. And even though we don't find that she is taking up a lot of actions in the story, all of her predictions, all of her like kind of whatever she says, they are coming true. इंटायर स्टोरी में हम देखते हैं कि कैरोलिन कुछ ऐसे एजम्पशंस करते हैं जो कि रिलायबल है, जो कि ट्रस्टवर्दी है, और सारे एजम्पशंस स्टोरी के एंड में सच हो रहे हैं. एंड दैट्स समथिंग दैट मेक्स हर एज ए इंटरेस्टिंग कैरेक्टर. शी इज़ नॉट प्रोवाइडिंग अस समथिंग विच इज़ अभी कुछ बोल दिया, नहीं. शी इज़ टॉकिंग एंड शी इज़ सेइंग समथिंग विच इज़ like a very reliable source. Also, we find that she is very insightful character. She delves deeper into everything, and she chooses to look things at very different way. And sometimes it's often said that Carolyn Shepherd should have been the detective of the story because she possesses all those characters that are possessed by a detective. She is a very keen observer. She delves deeper into things, as I said, and she not just makes assumptions based on nonsense or anything. She says something which is having a lot of sense within itself, and she does a lot of assumptions, seeing the totality of everything, doing ratio, doing permutation, combination and all. Last character, obviously, it is Hercule Poirot. Now, talking about Hercule Poirot, he is this very important character when it comes to Agatha Christie's story. It is because of his ways of detecting every mystery out there. Even though he is not someone who conforms to conventions of a detective in his physical stature, and one may feel very funny, one may see him as a funny character because of his physical appearance, but nevertheless he is a man who has a lot of importance in the story. It's because he reaches to the conclusion in his own way, in its unique style, which is kind of very different, and he would do everything in order to find out the truth. and that's something that makes us readers go crazy over this character called Hercule Poirot. Talking about the setting of the plot, we see that the story is based on this village named King's Abbot. Here people are well connected and they know a lot about each other. And there was one point or like one line in the story where I found this, it says that gossiping is the kind of recreation for the people in King's Abbot. This is very interesting. This line is very interesting, and I kind of feel that it obviously this town has some significance in setting up the whole story. Okay, now so I'll be talking right now about what are my final thoughts on this book. As I read this book, I understood that this book is not just a mystery story. It has something else to offer. This book reflects the evils in society like drug addiction, blackmailing, murder, and how money creates a hierarchy in different classes in the society. Also, we find that it reflects the very lifestyle of middle class families like Roger Ackroyd, Mrs. Ferrers, Dr. Shepherd, and all. Another thing that is interesting to the story is, I said, gossip. As I said, that people in King's Abbot, they love to do gossip a lot, और कहीं ना कहीं gossip एक बहुत important part बन जाता है story का, क्योंकि Hercule Poirot जो investigation करता है वो gossip के ऊपर करता है, and gossip kind of help him to reach to the conclusion. It's very interesting to see how, and that's something that we would learn while reading the story. And but we would find that gossip is kind of helping Hercule Poirot in like solving the case. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comment section what are your thoughts about this book. So I'll meet you in the next video. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye.